Hello everyone. Welcome back to Improved Version, a channel dedicated to sharing profound knowledge on holistic personal development through the lens of the world's greatest books. Today, I would like to introduce you to a truly fascinating and essential book titled This Book May Save Your Life. The author of this work, Dr. Karen Rajan, is an accomplished surgeon who uses a uniquely humorous and accessible tone to dissect the entire human body. His ultimate goal is to help us understand our biology so that we can avoid what he calls biological traps. Now, you might ask, what exactly is a biological trap? While the human body is a magnificent creation and a miraculous result of millions of years of evolution, it is not without its flaws. It is a wonderful system that is always trying to protect us and help us live well. Yet throughout his medical career, Dr. Rajan discovered that there are specific parts of the body where even a slight malfunction can be fatal. In other cases, poor habits cause our health to get progressively worse over time without us even noticing until it is too late. There are many such biological traps hidden within us. For example, our noses are often a design disaster, prone to blockages, embarrassing leaks, and abnormal hair growth. Our bones are another example. While they provide the structure we need to move, if we suffer from chronic back pain, neck and shoulder tension, or knee issues, our own skeleton can become a prison. Even our brains, the most advanced organs we possess, are often like outdated computer operating systems full of malware. Our minds can be like slow radios that prefer watching mindless entertaining videos rather than going to sleep when the body is exhausted. We need to know these things in advance to prevent illness before it starts. When you see the title, This Book May Save Your Life, do not immediately think of something as rare or dramatic as a cure for terminal cancer. Instead, this book provides you with a general overview of the entire body system. These are basic but essential pieces of knowledge that every person living in a human body should have. When you understand your own body, you know how to make the most of the natural resources it provides. And only then can you take the best possible care of yourself and your loved ones. Hopefully, this discussion will provide you with useful health knowledge, helping you live a healthier, longer, and more insightful life. To begin this journey, we must first learn to cherish the place where your life actually began. If we were to liken the human body to the simplest possible shape, what would it be? You might think of a complex machine, but the shape is actually a tube. Our bodies are essentially long tubes that go from our mouths all the way through and out through our anuses. In this analogy, a doctor is very much like a plumber, and your body is like an entire underground pipe system that needs regular maintenance. If this system is not properly protected, the pipes will get clogged in one place, blocked in another, and in the worst case scenarios, you might even have sewage flowing back up where it doesn't belong. In the human body, the digestive system is the central plumbing system, and it is operated by a mysterious and highly intelligent internal device. There's a somewhat unpleasant truth to our biological origins. Our lives begin at the anus. When you're a tiny embryo in your mother's womb, the very first organ to form is not the heart or the brain, as many people assume, but a hole. This opening gradually widens, penetrating through the placenta and eventually forming the mouth on the other side. Essentially, at one point in our development, we were a single organism with our mouths and anuses fused together. We begin life as a solitary opening floating in the womb, which gradually develops into the complex labyrinth of the intestines. These intestines twist and turn, creating the sophisticated network we know as the digestive system, after which the rest of the embryo becomes complete. In short, we all begin life in a hole, But it is precisely that hole that sustains our life for as long as we live. The openings of the digestive system are the core foundation of human existence. Therefore, if you want to live a healthy and happy life, you must cherish your digestive system. To protect this system, you first need to understand that the gut is frequently referred to as the second brain. It possesses a significant capacity for independent thinking and communication. Between the brain in your head and the gut in your stomach, there exists a complex connection where the state of one affects the other. This means that your state of mind can affect your gut, but more importantly, the state of your gut can affect your thoughts and emotions. Sometimes, whether you feel happy or not is not actually determined by your brain, but rather by the state of the beneficial bacteria living in your gut. For example, when you're hungry, you are much more likely to be irritable or hangry. This is because the gut directly influences your emotional landscape. Therefore, to live a happy life, you must nurture your gut microbiome. The favorite food of these beneficial gut bacteria is fiber. Certain types of fiber are called prebiotics, which serve as excellent food sources that help these bacteria thrive. In addition to fiber, they also love a group of compounds called polyphenols. These are natural antioxidant molecules that are found in abundance in fruits like blueberries and apples, especially in the apple peels. You can also find them in various berries such as strawberries, raspberries, and grapes, particularly red and black grapes. Citrus fruits like oranges and lemons, as well as pomegranates and cherries, are excellent sources. In the world of vegetables, these nutrients are found in broccoli, kale, spinach, eggplant, carrots, and sweet potatoes. You should also incorporate beans, nuts, and whole grains into your diet. Even spices like turmeric, cinnamon, pure cocoa, and dark chocolate can be beneficial. Furthermore, extra virgin olive oil and coffee, when consumed in moderation, help nourish the tiny inhabitants of your gut and maintain a healthy microbiome. Conversely, the microbiome suffers when you eat too much red meat and ultra-processed foods. These are items that have been altered so much that you can no longer recognize them in their original form. They are often packed with refined sugar, preservatives, artificial flavors, coloring agents, and oils that have been used repeatedly in industrial processes. All of these disrupt the balance of your gut. Examples include sausages, smoked meats, cold cuts, instant noodles, snacks, potato chips, cookies, and packaged cakes. Soft drinks, energy drinks, and fast foods like pizza, fried foods, and industrial sauces are also major culprits. Eating too much red meat, like pork and beef, can cause mild inflammation or worsen existing inflammation in your body. Think of your gut microbiome as a small, delicate garden in your stomach. Feed it healthy food and it will bloom beautifully, rewarding you with feelings of joy and vitality. But if you continue to water it with overprocessed junk, that garden will wither, leaving behind weeds that cause long-term inflammation, fatigue, and chronic pain. Next, we must consider the design of the esophagus. The human esophagus and trachea actually have an extremely poor design because they share a common throat and are located very close together. This is why when we eat, food can sometimes go down the wrong path, entering the trachea and traveling down into the lungs. This causes us to choke. The risk of choking increases significantly as we age because the muscles in the throat and larynx gradually weaken and the swallowing reflex slows down. Elderly people in hospitals are especially susceptible to this. For instance, when being fed while lying down, even small grains of rice can enter the lungs and cause aspiration pneumonia. This is one of the ways the body can accidentally harm itself if we do not know how to provide timely first aid. If you encounter someone choking, The simplest first step is to firmly pat the area between their shoulder blades with the palm of your hand to help push the foreign object out. Most basic instructions involve patting the back 5 times. However, if that does not work, you must try the technique formerly known as the Heimlich maneuver. Wrap your arms around the middle of the choking person's abdomen, then push firmly backward and upward. Perform 5 abdominal thrusts, and if the obstruction remains, call emergency services immediately. At the end of the esophagus is a part called the lower esophageal sphincter. If you do not chew your food thoroughly, this area is very susceptible to injury. Furthermore, when acid reflux occurs, this is the first area that the acid burns. Therefore, it is vital to eat slowly and chew thoroughly to reduce pressure on your stomach. When you eat too quickly, swallow improperly, or eat while talking or looking at your phone, your body is much more likely to swallow excess air. This increases pressure in the stomach and forces acid back up the esophagus. An ideal meal involves sitting upright, focusing entirely on your food, and avoiding lying down or bending over immediately after eating. You should also limit spicy or sour foods and alcohol to protect this delicate gateway. Bowel movements are another very important function with a significant impact on your overall health. Interestingly, women are more likely to suffer from constipation than men. This is because women have uteruses and ovaries, meaning the abdominal space is more crowded. This causes the intestines to bend and twist more, making them prone to kinking and leading to more difficult bowel movements. According to medical science, having fewer than 3 bowel movements a week is classified as constipation, a condition that is very harmful to the body over time. To avoid complications like hemorrhoids, you should never strain too hard, as this puts unnecessary pressure on the anus. Ideally, the time spent on the toilet should be under 10 minutes, and preferably under 5 minutes. To achieve this, you need to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water and consume about 30 grams of fiber daily. Unfortunately, most modern people only consume about 15 to 18 grams of fiber per day. A common cause for this fiber deficiency is eating in the wrong order. Many people eat their rice and meat first, leaving the vegetables for the end of the meal. By that time, the stomach is almost full, causing them to skip the vegetables entirely. Many people also have unbalanced meal proportions, where carbohydrates and meat make up the vast majority of the plate. Incorporating more fiber is actually not that difficult. For example, if you start your morning with a bowl of oatmeal, a banana, and a spoonful of chia seeds, you have already consumed 12 grams of fiber. For lunch, if you eat a large bowl of salad, a cup of brown rice, and half a cup of tofu or black beans, that is another 12 grams. For a snack or dinner, if you eat a sweet potato, an apple, and some almonds or sunflower seeds, you add another 10 grams. That alone meets and exceeds the recommended daily level. In addition to diet, you must pay attention to your posture. Doctors have indicated that a squatting position is the most natural and effective way to have a bowel movement. However, most modern families use seated toilets that create a 90-degree angle between the torso and the legs. This position causes the rectum to bend, making it difficult for stool to pass and leading to constipation. You should also be careful not to overuse laxatives, whether oral or suppositories, because they can damage the gut microbiome over time. A simpler and safer method is to place a small stool under your feet while sitting on the toilet. This raises your knees and brings your body into a position similar to squatting. If you don't have a stool, leaning slightly forward can also help. Another critical habit is to always close the toilet lid before flushing. In many homes, the toilet and sink are in the same room. When you flush with the lid open, tiny fecal particles full of bacteria are sprayed into the air. If these get into your mouth, eyes, or nose, they can cause infections. This is a very small habit, but it is extremely important for your health. Furthermore, you should actually take a moment to look at your stool after using the bathroom. It may sound unpleasant, but a small detail here can save your life. If your stool is grayish-white, like damp earth, it is a sign of insufficient bile, and you need to see a doctor immediately. Dark red or black stools may indicate bleeding in the digestive tract, often accompanied by a metallic, fishy odor. The consistency also matters. If feces float and have an oily film on the surface, your pancreas may be having trouble producing enough enzymes to digest fats. To maintain a healthy gut, you also need regular exercise and should never hold back the urge to go. Ideally, try to establish a habit of having a bowel movement at the same time each day. Moving on to the musculoskeletal system, we must learn to keep our bones and joints healthy. There are 3 main issues to watch for: degeneration, the health of the knees, and the condition of the lumbar spine. These are the most critical weak points of the body as we enter middle age. After the age of 40, bones naturally begin to shrink and bone density decreases, which is why people often become slightly shorter as they age. While this is a natural process, it can be slowed down through proper care. Adequate calcium intake is essential. In addition to dairy like cheese, you can get calcium from dark leafy greens like kale. However, calcium alone is not enough. The body also needs vitamin D to help the intestines absorb that calcium. The best source of vitamin D isn't just food, it is regular exposure to sunlight, which allows the body to synthesize it naturally. Regarding your knees, with every step you take, they have to lift a weight roughly 6 times your body weight. Over a lifetime of millions of steps, they bear immense pressure. Protecting them is essential to avoid artificial knee replacements in the future. A common mistake people make is avoiding exercise to save their knees. However, if you observe older people, you will notice that those who exercise regularly often have the strongest knees. During weight-bearing activities like running, the compression on the knees acts like squeezing a sponge. Waste is pushed out of the cartilage, and fresh, nutrient-rich fluid is drawn in. Of course, moderation is key to avoiding overtraining. The third issue is the lumbar spine. When we walk, our bodies rotate slightly to balance the reaction force from the ground. Without this rotation, we would fall backward. However, this constant grinding motion can cause back problems, particularly herniated discs. Between each vertebra is a layer of cartilage containing a gelatinous substance called the nucleus pulposus. Over millions of movements, the outer layer can wear away, causing the nucleus pulposus to spill out and compress nerves. This leads to pain and numbness that radiates down the back and legs. To prevent this, you should strengthen your core muscles through regular training, such as planks, basic Pilates, or yoga poses like the boat pose and the chair pose. You must also be careful about looking down at your phone too much, which causes cervical vertebrae degeneration. This has become so common that many people consider it normal, but the long-term consequences include stiffness, chronic pain, and spinal deformities. Interestingly, we can also protect our joints by using our sixth sense, which is essentially proprioception, your body's ability to sense its own position and balance without conscious thought. The better your body can self-regulate its balance, the lower the risk of injury. Simple balance exercises, like standing on one leg with your eyes closed and your knees slightly bent, can sharpen the sense. The more regularly you engage in physical activity, the more naturally your body and brain will know how to react to prevent falls and strains. This harmony between consciousness and movement is the secret to keeping joints supple and strong. Now, let us talk about the command center, the brain. The human brain weighs about 1.3 kilograms, which is only 2% of our body weight. Yet, it consumes up to 20% of our total energy. Thinking deeply for a long time will make you feel tired and hungry quickly because of this high energy demand. While the brain is the command system, it is the DNA that makes the fundamental decisions. The brain is more like the CEO or Chief Executive Officer of the body. This commander has about 86 billion neurons and even more connections between them. There's an old myth that humans only use 10% of their brain capacity, but that is completely false. In reality, we use our entire brain for almost all activities, with different regions working together in a sophisticated symphony. To protect this vital organ, you must avoid strong impacts. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, is a serious consequence of repeated head trauma, often seen in athletes. If you suffer multiple concussions, the risk of brain damage is very high. Another essential protector of the brain is sleep. Humans would literally go insane without sleep because the brain performs a self-cleansing process. While we dream, every day, metabolic waste products build up in the brain. During sleep, cerebrospinal fluid circulates more vigorously, carrying away the cellular debris and allowing the brain to recover. Frequent insomnia or poor sleep quality disrupts this detoxification, leading to memory loss, reduced focus, and an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia and causes a gradual loss of the ability to perform daily activities. To prevent this, prioritize your sleep and try to go to bed on time every night. It is also important to use your brain properly. Avoid multitasking, such as eating while browsing social media, which tires the brain and harms digestion. The best way to maintain brain health is to exercise it by learning new things. Do not rush to retire your mind. When you have no goals and do nothing, your brain degenerates the fastest. Learning a new language, solving math problems, or practicing meditation and deep concentration keeps the brain active and healthy. If you feel stressed, you can try a natural reflex called the mammalian diving reflex. Simply submerge your face in a basin of cool water while holding your breath. This automatically slows your heart rate and directs blood to your heart, brain, and lungs, helping you regain your composure instantly. Next, let's discuss the heart. Many people believe the appendix is a useless organ, but it actually has a role in the immune system. However, our bodies contain a truly mysterious and potentially dangerous structure near the heart called the left atrial appendage. Most people are unaware of its existence, and for many, it seems like a superfluous accessory. However, blood passing through this area can sometimes form a clot. If this clot enters the bloodstream and travels to the brain, it causes a sudden and devastating stroke. About 1/4 of all stroke cases are related to this area of the heart. To prevent this and protect your cardiovascular health, you must maintain a healthy lifestyle. Limit saturated fats and trans fats, which increase blood lipids and make it easier for clots to form. These are found in red meat, fatty meats, fried foods, and processed snacks. Instead, eat healthy fats rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, mackerel, walnuts, and avocados. You must also control your blood sugar by limiting refined carbohydrates like white rice and white bread. A helpful tip is to change your eating order. eat vegetables first, then protein, and carbohydrates last. This prevents blood sugar spikes and protects your heart. Finally, keep your emotions stable. Wild fluctuations in emotion release stress hormones that weaken the heart muscle. Overwhelming stress or even extreme joy, if not managed with calm breathing, can cause cardiovascular damage. We must also preserve the door to life, our lungs. The lungs are unique because they are the only organ that refuses to function while you are in the womb. They only begin to work the moment you leave your mother's body and let out your first cry. From that second onward, they are the gateway between you and the world. Lungs are extremely sensitive and hate intruders like dust, bacteria, smoke, or chemicals. Every day, we inhale about 20,000 times, filtering thousands of liters of air. Because of this workload, lungs are fragile. When they become inflamed, they form fibrous scars that cannot regenerate like skin or liver tissue. This means even one instance of severe pneumonia can leave permanent damage. Cherish every breath and protect your lungs by keeping your living environment clean and avoiding smoke and fine dust. Practice breathing deeply and slowly, and engage in regular exercise like walking, yoga, or swimming to increase capacity. I would also like to share a breathing exercise called Great Joe Heaven, which many people find helpful for improving lung health and clearing blockages in the body's internal energy. While I am not affiliated with the teachers of this method, I have seen positive changes from consistent practice. It makes the body feel lighter and more vibrant. Taking proper care of your sensory organs, your ears, eyes, and nose is also vital. Regarding eyesight, it is a shock to realize that we are practically blind to most of the world. The human eye only sees 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum, meaning 99.9% of the world is invisible to us. Furthermore, the images we see are actually projected upside down on the retina, and our brain has to flip them so we perceive them correctly. To protect your eyes, use the 20-20-20 rule. After every 20 minutes of screen time, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Outdoor exercise is also essential because of optical flux, the sensation of objects moving past you as you move. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system and relaxes the eye muscles. Most importantly, do not rub your eyes. This bad habit can deform the eyeball and cause infections that damage the cornea. Our ears are equally delicate, relying on the 3 smallest bones in the body and 16,000 tiny hair cells in the cochlea. Once these hair cells are damaged, they cannot be repaired. You usually don't notice a problem until half of them are already gone, at which point salvage is impossible. Avoid prolonged exposure to loud noise and try to avoid in-ear headphones. Over-ear headphones are a much safer choice for long-term hearing health. Finally, we must respect our noses. The brain often deliberately ignores the bridge of our nose so it doesn't obstruct our vision. But the nose is a critical airway. You must learn to breathe through your nose rather than your mouth. Mouth breathing can actually change the shape of your face, making it longer and narrower, and increases the risk of respiratory infections. If you get a nosebleed, never tilt your head back. This can cause blood to flow into the stomach or, more dangerously, into the trachea. Instead, pinch the soft tissue under the bridge of your nose, sit upright, and tilt your head slightly forward. Also, avoid the dangerous habit of plucking nose hairs. Pulling them out leaves a hole prone to infection in the danger triangle of the face, where bacteria can easily spread to the brain. All of these small pieces of knowledge are the key to living a full and grateful life. Our bodies love us silently and unconditionally. They are harmonious microcosms that allow us to walk, feel, and love, even in our final moments. As our breath fades, the body strives to give us one last gift. Scientists have discovered that brain activity continues for a short time even after the heart stops. These brain waves are similar to those we see when we dream or recall memories. In those final seconds, we may actually be able to review our entire lives as they flash before our eyes. The human body is truly amazing. We do not need to strive for a glorious life by societal standards to be successful. At the end of the journey, we realize that simply possessing a body that can experience this world through the senses is an unparalleled miracle. Your existence, combined with this sophisticated biological machine, is already a legend. Understand your body, appreciate it, and love it. Taking care of your physical and mental health is the truest form of maturity. Thank you so much for listening to this deep dive into the wonders of our biology. If you found this information helpful and believe it could help someone else, please share this video with your friends and family. Your support means everything to us. If you want to keep learning about how to become the best version of yourself through the wisdom of great books, please take a moment to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos every single week. Thank you again for being part of our community, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care of your body, and it will take care of you. Goodbye.